Hell no, don't do a whole shot. Do you want me to pass out and piss my pants in the garage? Like,
I mean, you're not
you're gonna
shooting
find
this
me in
stuff.
the morning.
Let's be clear. You're not
But
shooting this stuff.
if you drink all four of those, you're gonna be smoking cigs in the backyard, just vibing out.
I might do that anyways. I don't know. Hi, how's it going?
Wonderful. Ready to drink some whiskeys.
Yeah, me too. You wanna give an intro on who you are and all that?
I'm Nathan. I live in Searcy, Arkansas. Not an experienced bourbonesque.
That's it, Bourbonesque. That's the one.
But yeah, just here to hang with my brother and drink some whiskeys and whatnot and have a good time.
Nice. And I'm the brother. I'm James. I live in Austin, Texas. That's why we're not in the same place doing this. Trying to figure out how to make a thing like this work where we can not only drink bourbon but do whatever other kind of shenanigans we can get up to in two separate spaces. What are we, 700 miles away, 600 miles away? Maybe it's not that much. Maybe it's 400 something, but
Yeah, I measure things in hours. So,
that's fair. Same.
7 to 9 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah, so welcome also to the first podcast of I Guess I'm Doing This Now. Maybe at some point there'll be a different name, but for now that's what that's what I'm going with. I don't have a better idea at the moment, but maybe after we have some whiskey.
Yes, we're doing this now.
I guess we are doing this now. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. So we have the whiskey tasting. We're going to go through some different whiskeys here. Blind tasting. Well, it's not entirely blind. We know what the options are, but we don't know in what order they're in. We don't know what glasses they're in. So we're going to go through and taste those, basically as a way to try to get better at tasting whiskeys and trying to understand kind of what we're tasting. Maybe that's a little backwards way of doing it, because I think the idea with tasting whiskeys or wines or anything else really is that you have some idea what you're getting into beforehand, because that tells you a lot about what to expect. But I don't think that's a required piece. I think we can taste, and we can what are the 4 or 5 steps to tasting things? I feel like I should know this. It's like see, smell, taste, and then savor, and then the last one is like contemplate or something like that. Yeah, there's a process to this.
Smell. I guess I do smell. I was like, I know one step to tasting things, and that's putting it in my mouth.
Right.
But
you see
smell,
first. The first step is looking, as you see the thing.
You gotta look.
You gotta look at the thing. Well, do you want to dive in? Should we start with number 1 and just have a sip of number 1 and see what we can see, taste, smell, think about, contemplate, whatever? Okay.
And the wives have coordinated on this, right?
They have, yes.
Oh, wow. You have way more than I do.
I did. I didn't want to run out.
All of those?
No, God, no. I didn't want to run out. I didn't want, if I was, on the fence about something. Let's go through the different things we have on deck tonight, too. I think I should be able to find a spot. Yeah. These will work. First up, we got the Jameson Black Barrel. Don't know anything about it. Haven't had it. Well, I say don't know anything about it. I know a few things about it, I guess. I know it comes in a little bottle and a big bottle.
Charred.
This is a
barrel is the only thing I heard about it.
Yeah, the charred barrel. So I guess the other thing to know about it is it's an Irish whiskey, right? That's the Jameson is an Irish whiskey. That's triple distilled Irish whiskey. These are, I guess, aged for some time in charred barrels of some kind. Maybe that's something we can find out more about while we progress through our journey. Crown Royal, good old Canadian whiskey. A giant bottle that I've had. Yours may be much smaller. This one was one I had in my cabinet. I've had this in my liquor cabinet for 2 years, 3 years at least. And I think it was in Chuck and Alicia's liquor cabinet before that. Those are friends of mine. So I mean, this bottle's been around for many years, and it's hardly been drank. That gives you some idea how into Crown Royal we are. Next one up is a wee bottle of Johnny Walker Black.
Both got the wee bottle.
We got the wee bottle of that one. And then the weest bottle of Jack Daniels. Regular old black Jack Daniels is the last one here. Yeah. All right.
I think my bottle might be
Even
more wee
smaller?
than
I think so.
yours, but it's glass.
Wow, you got a little bitty glass bottle.
Yeah.
This is a 200 ml, which is quite small.
Doesn't even say what size it is.
It's too small for measurements.
You know what's crazy is these are like, I feel like these are full phases that I've gone through of drinking whiskey Cokes and whiskey Sprites and all kinds of stuff along the way. And
Yeah.
I haven't had Jack Daniels since early to mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt like I was buying really nice whiskey, buying Crown Royal, and went through a huge Crown Royal phase.
Yeah.
And never really drank much Jameson, but these days in my mid 30s, I've been drinking this every now and then, just with family and friends. So
you know what to expect from
not
that
this
one. So that's
specifically, but yeah.
That's the one for you that's probably going to be the easiest. I think I'm probably the most familiar with the Crown. None of these are really my alley. I do tend towards bourbons and single malt Irish. What am I saying? Single malt, single barrel. What are the words that I want here? Scotch.
I don't know. Let me read a bottle.
Scotch
Let me read a
from
bottle.
Scotland is the other
Remember,
area.
I'm not a whiskey tier.
Whiskey-tour?
Whiskey-tour.
Yeah. I'm gonna
The
move
whole
my chair back.
whiskey
slightly.
bourbon thing.
We got a chair move.
The whole
happening.
whiskey bourbon thing really blew my mind.
Not really your barrel o spirits.
No, I mean the learning the difference or the similarities between whiskey and bourbon, and
Right.
you telling me that bourbon is only bourbon if it's from America. Like,
Right. Yep. And I've seen a lot of this lately. Actually, people debating again the idea that bourbon only comes from Tennessee, and that's 100% not true. Bourbon comes from anywhere in the U.S. That you make whiskey, that you follow a specific process involving running that distilled grain spirit through charred oak barrels. But it's got to be new oak. It's got to be new oak. Am I making the charred part up? New oak charred barrels. I'll look it up in a bit.
No
Once I have a little bit of whiskey in me, I'll look it up and we'll get the details here together. Or you can look it up. I don't know which of us is going to be the Googler. But yeah,
have
there
no
are
devices
specific
right
details
now, so.
to bourbons. Whiskeys is the broader category. But from what I understand, what I know to be true is that for the most part, outside of bourbon, pretty much everywhere else in the world, when they're making a whiskey, they're essentially following more of a Scotch whiskey type of a maker process. Like it's a lot more of a malted. Like malt is not a heavy flavor component in bourbon versus like wheat and corn and more like mapley, honey types of flavor notes, things like that. The malted sort of typical Scotch whiskey profile is quite a bit different from bourbon. Yeah, and so what we have here tonight, none of these are bourbons. They're all whiskeys. Some of them are, I think it's the black label. The Johnny Walker is technically a Scotch. It's a blended Scotch. And then other than that, I think we've hit 4 different regions. Even the Jack Daniels. It says it's a Tennessee whiskey, but it does not say bourbon on here because I don't think it is a bourbon. They've not followed the bourbon things. I do
Johnny
believe Jack
Walker
Daniels
is
makes a bourbon.
Johnny Walker is also a whiskey without the E, in case
Mm-hmm.
you didn't see that.
I did. Because I think, is Johnny Walker, boy, if whiskey people do see this, they might tear us apart. Um, I think, no, I got to look it up. I got myself confused thinking about this earlier today. I think Johnny Walker is an American label, right? Like but it's, I don't know if it's produced here. I don't, yeah. Or maybe it's Irish also.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm ready for, so I guess, like I said, the first thing we're supposed to do here is see. You're just, you're supposed to look at the color. Ideally, you're supposed to put this up in front of something that is white so you can see the actual color of your spirit in front of a white something. I don't think you have anything white in that room that I can see, so you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage.
I do over there with my light. I do.
I have tax information, which I won't hold up in front of the camera. I'll just hold it up and gander it at a distance. Yeah. I mean, frankly, they're all kind of the same color. Sorry?
I think I know what it is already.
Uh-oh.
By the smell.
Yeah. These are also apparently not the right kind of glasses for like true whiskey tasting. You're supposed to use those tulip-shaped glasses.
Is it something like this?
It's more like that. I think that's more of a beer glass, right?
Yeah. This is from a brewery, but it's the only other small, clear glass we had in the house. God, seeing how much you have in that glass gives me anxiety.
Why?
I feel my blood pressure rising thinking about drinking all of it.
I'm not going to be... Tessa asked me the same thing.
We have 4 glasses.
Yeah, Tessa asked me the same thing. She was like, are you sure 2 fingers? You're not going to drink all this, right? And I said, hey, no promises.
Yeah, Kelly was like, so do I do a full shot? And I said, hell no, don't do a whole shot. Do you want me to pass out and piss my pants in the garage? Like,
I mean, you're not shooting
find me in the morning.
Let's be clear. You're not shooting.
If you drink all 4 of those, you're going to be smoking cigs in the backyard, just vibing out.
I might do that anyways. I don't know. We'll see where the evening takes us. Man.
Are you identifying it by smell?
No. I mean, again, I think because these glasses are the wrong kind of glass, like I just get like straight ethanol, just like vapor in the nose. Do you get any other...
I think I know what it is.
My sense of smell sucks. This has been the hardest thing for me to deal with as far as trying to taste things, is my sense of smell is dog shit. Not, so we need to mark that. I do actually have a really good sense of smell for dog shit.
We need to mark it from the list on how to taste things then. I mean...
Well, I mean... I think this one's pretty easy, to be fair. I mean, I have had some experience with Johnny Walker and a lot more experience with scotches in general. This tastes like scotch to me. So my immediate guess...
It smells like scotch.
Yeah, like, my immediate guess would be that it's Johnny Walker. It does...
Again, I don't know what causes that smell, if it's a different kind of wood barrel or what's... I guess if we know the difference or the similarities of bourbon and whiskey, what is a Scotch whiskey? I mean, what is Scotch?
It's a more malt-heavy form of whiskey. I'm gonna look it up now. Let's see.
It's a good Scotch whiskey, though.
Dear Google.
I'm not big on Scotch, but it just is so smooth.
Are you opposed to a third sort of companion here in the form of ChatGPT? Because this was one of the things I was going
to us.
Sorry?
Like talking to us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I was going to propose as well, is that I have been... I mean, I wouldn't say I'm addicted to ChatGPT. I use it as a work tool primarily, and I use it a ton. And I would say ChatGPT and I have a pretty good thing going on. Let's see. I will say, what differentiates? The other thing here that's interesting is, I mean, I wouldn't say I know a ton about whiskeys in this space, but I mean, I'm kind of always looking for opportunities with ChatGPT and just AI in general to be able to know enough about something to be able to tell when it's telling me bullshit, like when it's telling me absolutely incorrect information. So this will be an interesting way to dive into that some. To be fair, like for other cocktail content and things like that, like I've used ChatGPT for a bunch of different liquor cocktail related things. Actually, one of the things I'm planning on doing here soon is a bunch of bitters recipes that are 100% ChatGPT based bitters recipes.
Beautiful.
I think like I've looked up what bitters recipes should kind of look like and how they're typically structured. And there's a lot of similarity. But yeah, I don't know. I've never made bitters. So I guess the only way that I'm going to know whether or not ChatGPT is just completely blowing air at my ass with these things that it's telling me that I should try is by doing it. So anyways, what differentiates whiskey? Let me ask it about, because I've looked this up before and I forget the difference between whiskey with an E and whiskey with a Y. I believe one indicates it's made in the U.S.
Sounds believable for sure.
Yeah, so whiskey with an E is made in Ireland and the U.S. Whiskey with a Y is made in Scotland, Canada, and Japan.
A Scotch isn't just simply like a Scottish whiskey, is it?
Scotch is...
Well,
no.
Because there's a lot of Scotches.
So now what defines Scotch? To be legally defined as Scotch, it must be made in Scotland, made from malted barley. So yeah, the grain spirit I said earlier is like more a broader definition. Like all whiskey is made from barley and barley adjacent types of grains, right? Malted barley, as opposed to like this is like where you get into the mash bill territory. Like the mash bill is what goes into the word that I can't think of at the moment, that that basically you put all your ingredients together, you do a bunch of things to them, you let them sit there and age for a while, and then you distill that into your kind of your not quite final product, but then whatever you distill, what you pull out of that mash bill cook. Man, all of my terminology is going out the window right now. Great. You distill that.
The whiskey guys are going to come for us.
I'm sure they will. Distilled to, so when I say made from malted barley or other whole cereal grains. That's interesting. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So aged at least 3 years in oak casks. Interesting. I didn't know that. No additives, bottled at a minimum 40% ABV. So then there's single malts, which is one distillery, 100% malted barley. Single grain is one distillery, and there are other grains involved. Blended malt is multiple distilleries, but only malt whiskey. Blended grain is multiple distilleries, only grain whiskey. Blended Scotch is the most common type, like Johnny Walker. Yeah. Cheers. Did you catch all that?
No.
Yeah.
I had a drink before too, I'm not going to lie.
Good. If I wasn't putting kids to bed, I definitely would have also, but I guess you probably did some of that too, though.
Kelly got her down. When I came out here, Lainey was still rocking and rolling. Climbing things,
They do like to climb things. Okay, so Johnny Walker is a blended Scotch whiskey, which means it's made from whiskeys sourced from multiple distilleries. You know what? I'm going to let ChatGPT read this. Well, never mind. There's a lot. I will not let ChatGPT read this. It's sourced from multiple distilleries across Scotland. The brand itself is owned by Diageo. And they've got quite the collection of distilleries. Yes, they do. Diageo is a huge brand. Back in my advertising days, Diageo was one that came up sometimes as a big client. And it was always surprising to me what brands they were wanting us to advertise for. Just like, oh, how many, like the sheer volume of brands owned by Diageo is pretty nuts. Interestingly, too, we can get into this in a little bit if you'd like, maybe once we go through all four of them. But one of the things that I looked up as research for this comparison is what are the top 10 whiskeys, regardless of type, regardless of any of that, region, any of that, globally, like meaning like what whiskeys are the 10 most popular whiskeys globally. Excuse me. I think in the top 5, I think 3 or 4 of the top 5 were all from India. They're like India distilled bottle, like just frankly I don't even know if those are available in the US. They're not whiskeys that I had ever heard of, but it seems as though the market for whiskey in India apparently is massive. So I thought that was pretty weird. Not weird, just interesting. Hadn't heard that before. Yeah, so Johnny Walker it's a genuine Scotch whiskey from Scotland, apparently.
Huh.
Or at least from
Pretty good.
a variety of distilleries in Scotland. Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually
Really smooth.
it's tastier than I guess was giving it credit for. Is it possible to be, because I suddenly realized that I probably sounded a little bit like a whiskey snob, even though my experience with whiskey is like relatively limited. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the last 3 good whiskeys I've had that I've enjoyed, that were new bottles that I bought, were based on your recommendation and being at the liquor store with you. So,
Yeah.
not to say you're a snob, but you know more about it or study more about it, try more
Right.
more regularly than I do. So, but I mean, it's what's opened me up a little bit is because, you know, I mean, I used to drink Jack and Crown and I was like, I'm kind of off whiskey. And then you showed me better whiskeys and definitely got me more interested into it. So,
Well, and especially now that I've gotten into cocktails, it's a lot of fun to mix it up. Well, that's no pun intended. It's a lot of fun to try new whiskeys.
mix it up.
Yeah, it's a lot of pun guy over here. It's a lot of fun to try new things, right? Like it's a lot of fun to vary up the recipe, so to speak. And you can do a lot with any cocktail that you know and love. You can do a lot to change it just by changing out your base spirit. So that's what's drawn me to a lot of experimentation, I guess. Like just buying a different bottle every couple of weeks and trying that out. It's also, have you ever heard of an infinity bottle? Do you know what an infinity bottle is?
Is it where you just pour the end of your bottles into
just the last little dregs of whatever bottle you're finishing up. So I mean, because for a while there, I've still got an infinity bottle going. That could be an interesting thing to try and taste through at some point, because it's got, I don't know, probably 30 different whiskeys in it. And it's every time I've taken a sip of it, I've been shocked at how delicious it is. It's very obviously a blended whiskey, but blended whiskeys can be really great because that's kind of the idea there too, right? You're just taking a number of good things and tossing them together into one thing. I did. I watched. Oh damn! What's the guy's name? I watched some content on YouTube earlier from a really popular whiskey guy where he tried Johnny Walker Blue Label. Did you tell me once that you've tried Blue Label?
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
It's good. I mean, I would have loved to try it up next to a Black Label to try to understand the differences a little more. But I mean, It was really smooth, and I mean, it was my brother-in-law that got it, and he was almost in tears when he opened it for Christmas. Like he was so excited. So,
Because they're pricey. That's like
um,
I think now that's like a $300 to $500 bottle.
yeah, I'm pretty sure at the time I looked it up. Like, wow, that was really good. Maybe I should get some. No, no, I will not be getting any.
No.
Um, but really good. I mean, and it came in a beautiful box that
Mm-hmm.
opened up all crazy, and
Yep.
yeah,
Um, and the guy I was referring to, his name is, I mean, anybody watching this who's into whiskey content will know who this guy is. Brewzle, Brewzle. If you're interested in checking out that kind of stuff too, I think you should give him a check out, a watch, because he samples a ton of different stuff, and he has very particular tastes. And Irish whiskeys, scotches are generally not in that family of things that he likes too much, because they have such a like a malt forward flavor profile. I'm going to put a little bit of water in this. I mean, granted, I need more water than this because I have a full 2 ounces
I
pour.
was like,
here.
wow, it's how Kelly mixes up mimosas. Like a little bit of orange juice, just a couple of drops.
I mean, wow. That rounds it out a bit, actually. If you have water on hand, I would say give it a try. Not a ton, but yeah. Oh, yeah, you've got just slightly a little.
I mean, we are certain this is Johnny Walker, right?
I'm pretty. Yeah, nothing else.
I'm pretty sure.
Nothing else on this. What do you call this? Damn. I gotta start working on vocabulary stuff, apparently, because I think of words in my head. I'm like, if only I could think of the actual fucking word that I'm trying to think of.
Like a taste test?
No, I was gonna use the
whiskey
what
panel?
is the term for? It's like the hangman's galley or something, like the thing of wood that they stand people on who are about to get hung. I don't know. It's what my brain went to, but then I didn't know the stupid word for what that is, so I couldn't use it. The docket. It's what we've got on the cutting board.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Should I make notes?
Mix it
so we don't
up.
forget as we get boozed up here. I'll make notes. Where's a pen? That's always the problem. There we go.
Why am I started looking for a pin.
Okay, so we think number 1 is Johnny Walker. I guess I probably didn't need to write that whole thing out, but whatever, I did. You ready to move on to number 2?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kind of excited to figure out which I like the most.
Yeah, well, I'm going to line up my little bitty bottles over here too, since I have kind of the space for it, roughly. Oh, that one's actually...
See, there's a distinct smell to a scotch that I picked out of that Johnny.
Oh. So this might look stupid on camera, but bear with me. If you can tilt your glass enough to put the bridge of your nose on the upper side inside of your glass, that's the only way that I was actually able to smell any...
Well,
Oh, you just get vapor that way?
I mean, I could smell it pretty good already, but that was like times 5.
Maybe... Huh. The only thing that comes to mind is like, maybe like...
The flavor is so different, so drastically different and sweet
You've already tasted
when it
it?
hits your... Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm just...
Remember, I have one step to tasting.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You've got the advanced formula.
No, I smelled it, but I put it down. So much richer, creamier. Not creamy. That's wrong. Sweeter. Just sweeter.
I feel like I have a hard time discerning sweetness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I don't taste it and think, oh, maybe that's salty. But what I mean is, one thing being sweeter than another thing, it has to be pretty. I kind of have to get hit in the face with sweetness. Maybe that's. I mean, I don't really have a sweet tooth at all, so maybe that's part of the problem.
I mean,
maybe that's.
part of me kind of wants to say Jameson.
Really, I was going to say maybe that's the Jack Daniels. Yeah, I don't. I'm
feel
pretty
like
sure I've
there's-
never. I'm pretty sure I've never had Jameson. I've had Tullamore. I'm pretty sure I've never had Jameson.
Oh, really? I mean, I think most of the time I've had Jameson was on like a St. Patty's Day bar hop kind of experience, and they do like the cheap shots of Jameson, but I've never taken time to smell it and sip it for sure. I think it's more knowing that this was in a charred barrel, that there's something about it that I'm picking up that tastes or smells kind of like charred wood to me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I know.
Okay, so you're going
It's
Jameson
kind of on
this one.
the taste on the back end.
I mean, frankly, I'll follow your lead on that one because I don't.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would think we could have different opinions of it, but I can also say when it comes time for, I've had Crown straight and sipped on it before, but I've never sipped or fully tasted Jack Daniels on its own. It's always Jack and Coke or
Jack's the
some
other one
kind of
on
mix.
here that I don't think I've ever had a single sip of Jack Daniels. I maybe have tried Jameson once before, the regular, but the char on this one is probably going to change up the flavor fairly noticeably. I would assume so.
I mean, I would say it's good. I like it, but I feel like it's not quite as smooth as the Johnny Walker
Yeah, I agree.
is to me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm thinking it's like I'm picking up that charred barrel flavor is because of the little bit of like bitterness or harshness to it.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. I don't know.
Any
Are
other
you sticking
flavors
with
you
one of the
detected in
others,
there?
or-
Or what about, I don't know, fruits or things of that nature? I thought when I was first smelling it, I thought maybe I got a little bit of like some, maybe it's like cooked apple or like cooked kind of apple skin, maybe. Like it's something that reminded me of apples, but it was hard to pin down. I think you might be right about the smokiness, though, the oak.
I think I've just really convinced myself there's a charred smokiness to it that, I mean, it's not cheating to like read on the, I mean, I guess there's nothing to read. Never mind.
Yeah, no, there's pretty minimal text on there. Okay, so I'll put a question mark next to that one. I feel pretty confident about the Johnny Walker. I think the Jameson Black Barrel is a pretty good guess for that one, having never had it and not knowing what to expect. But the other two, I would imagine, are probably going to be. Wait, so you thought number 2 was sweeter than the Black? Well, I guess that makes sense. But I would expect the Crown and the Jack Daniels to be the sweetest of the bunch.
I would think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, because of the smoky taste I feel like I'm getting, I want to stick with Jameson for it, but I think tasting, I mean, if it is Johnny and then Jameson, this next 2 should be sweet. And knowing that on Jack Daniels it's the sour mash,
That doesn't mean sour.
like, I know, but there's something, probably because of all the times I've thrown up after drinking it, there's something sour about the smell. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's funny.
It burns a sour spot in your brain.
That's funny.
or something like that. I don't know.
Do you want to know what the
You wanna
sour
go
mash
straight to
actually
the
means?
next?
Because I wasn't sure about that either, and I had to look it up. Where is that information? The sour mash. I believe it means that when they start a new batch, they use a little bit of the mash from the previous batch, kind of like you do with like some breads, and so it's like a sourdough kind of thing where like you have a core sort of reserve
That you
of,
like pull
of
from
your
to.
mash that you pull from and continue to use. Yeah. I did find the list of the top 10 whiskeys if you want to go through that real quick. Yeah, number 1 on here. These are based on the most recent sales data from 2023. These are the top 10 best-selling whiskey brands worldwide, with their geographical origins, owning companies, and sales volumes. Number 1, McDowell's number 1. Who would have thought? Out of India, the owner is United Spirits, which is also a subsidiary of Diageo, which is the Johnny Walker brand.
Huh.
So number 1 is a Diageo product. Their sales volume is 31.4 million 9-liter cases in 2023. Next on the list is Royal Stag, also from India. This one is Pernod Ricard. I'm pretty sure I said that correctly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, have you heard of the liqueur Pernod?
Node.
It's
No.
It's them. 28 million 9-liter cases in 2023 for those guys. But also origin is India. Next one down is Imperial Blue, also from India, also from Pernod Ricard, 23.8 million. Fourth one, Officer's Choice, also from India, from Allied Blenders and Distillers. And then fifth is Johnny Walker from Scotland. 6 is Jack Daniels. I was surprised by that one. Number 6 in the world is Jack Daniels. Anyways. And then, yeah, number 7 is Jim Beam, which I figured, looking through this, trying to do research for this, I figured let's just pick one of the 2 major U.S.-based whiskeys, and Jack Daniels was number 6, so I went with that one. That was my logic on that one. Although, I hadn't noticed that before. So this may be one of those bullshit meter moments with ChatGPT here, because it says number 6 is Jack Daniels, with 14.6 million 9-liter cases sold in 2023. Number 7 is Jim Beam. Beam, rather. There's an M on it, with 16.7 million 9-liter cases. So why the number is higher for the number 7 place, I don't know. Who knows? Probably because AI is imperfect. And then a huge drop for Crown Royal at number 8, rather. Also Diageo, but it drops down by almost half to 8.4 million 9-liter cases. Number 9 is Suntory Kakubin? Suntory Kakubin? In Japan. 6.1 million 9-liter cases. And then last is Jameson, out of Ireland, also owned by Pernod Ricard. I'm going to have to figure out how to say that correctly. And then that is 11.1. Why does it go back up so much?
That's weird.
I don't know.
Liars.
They might be liars. Let me, how do you pronounce the whiskey brand Pernod Ricard correctly? Not going to keep waiting. Sorry, you took too long. ChatGPT was a swing and a miss on that one. So that's how it goes sometimes. Have you heard about all the new ChatGPT, like the Image Gen 4.0 or 4.0 that they just released? It's pretty wild.
No.
I've been doing a lot of thumbnail work for videos with that and just messing around with it a lot. I tried to make a mashup of so earlier in the week, last week, I guess it was midweek, doesn't matter. GameStop. This is like getting into like finance and stock market discussion, although it also crosses over into Bitcoin. Last week, GameStop bought a bunch of Bitcoin. They had a bunch of cash on hand in the business, and they decided, let's not reinvest this money back into the company. Let's invest it into Bitcoin, kind of following in the trails of, to some extent, to MicroStrategy, which is I don't know how much of this you're aware of, but anyway, the bottom line is, I thought GameStop and their rabid fan base plus Bitcoin and their rabid fan base, like, I have to find some way to merge these two ideas in a goofy visual way. So I asked ChatGPT to help me do that, and it came up with some pretty interesting stuff. I think one of the combinations. So basically, what I had it do was kind of personify the sort of typical fan of each of these sort of financial vehicles, and see what kind of goofy shit it could come up with. And one of the combinations it came up with was Earthworm Jim mashed up with Master Chief from Halo, and it did actually generate me an image for that, and I popped it up on Twitter because I thought it was kind of funny. And it was basically just an Earthworm Jim head coming out of Master Chief's body, essentially, which isn't that difficult, but it kind of came up with this idea, more or less on its own. So I thought it was funny.
That actually kind of applies to a side focus of your channel, and I was toying with the outfit on my avatar in the Oculus the other night. And you can select a blank t-shirt, but you can customize it. Have you seen this?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen that.
And it uses AI to create the design.
Oh.
So I put in like
That's cool.
Space Super Mario or something like that. And I mean, it created some pretty awesome stuff. I don't remember if I left it on or not, but I was toying with it a lot the other night.
So it's
pretty cool to have those
yeah
little AI tools in everything now.
I mean, yeah, literally everything. Just about, anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna accelerate for sure. Yeah, especially with, like, I think, from what I understand, I think what I heard, the figures that I heard today was that 26 months ago, ChatGPT was released. It launched 26 months ago, and I think it took them 3 days to get 1 million subscriptions of people subscribing to the Surface rather. When they launched ImageGen 4.0 last week, it took them 1 hour to get 1 million new subscribers. Or users. Maybe that's a good distinction. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was new subscribers or if it was users of the new feature, but pretty nuts.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of what I've heard in the news about this too is that the guardrails that these kind of AI companies typically end up putting in place aren't quite there yet, which is probably part of the reason that I was able to get it to generate relatively without complication, like pretty recognizable images of both Earthworm Jim and Master Chief. Those guardrails aren't entirely in place just yet, so. But I don't know. My feeling on that is that's really up to the user. Like, and I think OpenAI is trying to get to that point where they can take that kind of stance as well. Like, they don't kind of want to be the gatekeeper or the arbiter of gatekeepers. Maybe a little too loaded, but the arbiter of what people can and can't do with their services. Because when they're kind of unchained, so to speak, they do a lot of cool shit. So crazy shit.
Yeah.
If nothing else. But yeah, kind of gone are the super disfigured hands and goofy eyeballs and like with everything that I'd used prior to last week. The thing that I use mostly for image generation has been Krea, Krea. Like it's a great creative tool with AI being kind of the foundation of it. And even with that, like I was probably generating 50 to 100 images to get 2 or 3 that I liked enough to consider using.
Yeah.
And so far, my experience with this new OpenAI image gen tool is 1 or 2. like I generate one or two images, and
You
one or
get
two of
what you
them are
need.
usable.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty. Yeah, that's. I had no idea. I had no expectation, I should say, for getting to that point so rapidly within the AI space. Also, I heard today that I think it was ChatGPT. I could be wrong on that. One of the AI chat-based services that's capable of speech just passed the Turing test, so that's fun. Do you know what that is? You know what that means?
No.
It's a test devised sometime in the past. But basically, the test is a way to allow for the person running the test to determine whether or not the person taking the test is actually a human or not. It's meant to be able to pretty pretty consistently detect non-humans, like machine sort of learning, machine intelligence. Apparently, that's out the window already. Apparently,
Not
that's
the case anymore.
Yeah, apparently that's so. Hooray! Enough about AI. Yeah,
Terminator is on the way.
Indeed, Skynet will be here soon. Should we try some more whiskey?
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
On to number 3.
Woof.
The couleur.
Yeah.
The smell.
I mean, is it just me or they all look pretty damn similar?
I feel like they're pretty close. Yeah.
Extremely close.
I feel like it smells sweeter already, but
I kind of thought the same thing. Maybe that's not just my imagination then, if you thought the same thing.
oh no, that's sweeter. That makes me think that last one was definitely Jameson. Just for the charred barrel.
Huh. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I've tasted that before. I mean, I hadn't tasted the Jameson before either, but this is. I mean, out of the two things left, the one that I have tasted for sure is the Crown. Well, I don't know. There might be a little bit of rye note in that, but now I'm not sure if I'm fooling myself.
I feel like I'm kind of leaning Crown on this one. It's just sweet. I feel like it's kind of like vanilla-y. I mean, I'm not getting that like sour. I've thrown up because of this thing multiple times.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you said you've got some pretty bad experiences with Johnny Walker or with Jack Daniels. I mean, so you'll know that one.
Yeah.
When we get to it.
And I mean, maybe not. It's been so long now. I could be totally wrong, but there's something that makes me, I guess, just the sweetness of it. And I don't know. It's smooth. It's like smooth and it's almost like more rich.
Whatever it is, I'm not a big fan of it.
No?
No, not really. I think you might be right, though. I mean...
Now smell 2.
Oh. Wow, I smell a lot more coming out of number 2 now. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll have to smell and taste 4, but
wow.
I feel like it's got to be the Jameson.
I think so. The other thing worth noting maybe here, even if it's only interesting to me, the order that I had set these bottles out in is the Johnny Walker, the Jameson, the Crown, and then the Jack. I just threw my pen accidentally. If that's the order that I've, or if I've accidentally put them in the order that the glasses sit in, that would be bonus points for me, I think. I think that means I've earned a cigarette at the end of the night. Okay, so I'm gonna put that down as Crown because I think
I don't know. Number 4 I think will sell a lot, but I feel confident about 1 and 2 right now for sure.
Is that a cop out though? I mean, would we have to put our stake in the sand here and say this is what this is, and if we're wrong, we're wrong, or
I don't know. Did we do that for 2? I mean, I felt pretty good. It was Jameson, but I don't think you were.
Well, to be fair, I feel
sold.
a lot better about it being Jameson, very likely now that I've had this very spicy number in number 3, spicy and sweet.
Spicy number. Mix it up. Spicy number.
I mean, literally, like it's got some other notes to it. Like it's not an oaky thing.
Ooh,
it's not a malty
I just got
thing.
it on the smell.
Yeah,
like the spiciness.
It's a little more. Apparently, rye grows well in Canada because it's colder, and rye grows the grain, the crop of rye grows great in cold climates. I don't know, maybe that's bullshit, but so a lot of Canadian-born whiskey has rye in it, or has rye notes to it, because there's a lot of rye in their mash bills. That's what's readily available. It's cheap.
Huh.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't hate it. It's just really seeing how sweet it really is makes sense that it goes so well in Coke.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
It doesn't fight against it. I mean, I always used to think it kind of tasted like vanilla Coke or something,
Can I be honest? Here's a hot take. I think Coke and whiskey is fine, but I think it's not enough of a compliment in some ways for me. Like when I've had like I think the best bourbon Coke that I had was Elijah Craig and like Mexican Coke, where it's like the real sugar and all that stuff. That was a delicious combination. But I don't know. Maybe this is something we need to play around with. I feel like you can do better than whiskey as a mixer with Coke. I think there are other alcohols that we'll play with.
I think you're right. I just think, I mean, the truth is that like in the early 20s stretch, early mid 20s, it was more about like, I didn't ask for a Jack a lot of times. It was just so it's like Coke kind of covers up a lot. And then I found Sprite and I was like, hey, Sprite and whiskey is really good. So I kind of went down that path. And first time I went to Vegas, friends were ordering like vodka Red Bulls. And I was like, hey, I mean, at that point I was like, I don't mess with vodka. Let's try a Crown and Red Bull and see how that goes. And, 12 Crown and Red Bulls later, we're on a party bus.
Holy shit.
For like a mile. I mean, we paid like $50 for it to take us a mile down the strip. But, don't recommend mixing things like whiskey and Red Bull. That's just...
No, Red Bull's pretty gross, in my opinion. I was a pretty heavy amp drinker in my day in college.
Ooh.
Yeah, working at the radio station. Shout out to whatever the hell that radio station was called.
That one. Have you ever tried a Four Loko?
No, thankfully, no.
Oh.
Evidenced by the fact that I had kids.
Yeah, I mean, I've had quite a few Four Lokos in my day.
Okay, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, we used to. I think it was my buddy Daniel's bachelor party. One of the guys showed up, and he had a case of Four Locos, and I was like, I didn't know legally you could buy a case of them at a time, but also, what are you doing with a case of these? Quickly, he was like, man, we do this for all our bachelor parties. Like, we got to start out night one with a Four Loco. And sure enough, cracked. I mean, there was like 12 of us on this bachelor party trip, and 12 Four Locos got cracked, and 12 Four Locos got drank, and we went absolutely crazy afterwards.
Mm-hmm. It's only 35%. It's 70 proof. Like it's less than whiskey, but it's got a lot of sugar in it, right? Like this is the recipe.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's in a can. It's you drink, and it's a tall boy can, so
it's smashable.
It does damage. Oh, and smashable. I took that what do you call that? I guess the whiskeys are getting to me when you do it every time you go on a bachelor party trip. The tradition. I took the tradition.
Oh, okay.
And I carried it over to other friends' bachelor parties.
Oh, wow.
And my buddy John's bachelor party, we went to Dallas, and we all got Four Locos, and we had to finish them before we could go out that first night, and we convinced the bachelor, John, to finish like half of it, like chug it, and then crush the can on his head.
Good.
And I mean, he was already so drunk that he went to smash it on his head, and it didn't really smash, so he just kept smashing it into his head until it crushed. And he was wearing a hat backwards, so like that plastic clip, he smashed it into his head so many times he split his head open. And his wedding was in, like 2 weeks or something after that, so he had this giant wound on his head from.
Hey, I thought you were going to say the next day. I mean, 2 weeks is enough time for a little bit of healing. Yeah,
it's clear. It was clearly there though, still at the time, and he still to this day has a small scar. I mean, wow, split his head open.
Yeah. Crushable.
Four Locos, not good. I've seen a lot of people get injured.
Yeah.
We'll try every flavor of Four Loko next.
I was going to say, you know what? I'd be open to trying them out. I don't want to drink as much of a Four Loko as I've had of any of these whiskeys, really. But yeah, I mean, that's a good topic, I think. Trying out Four Lokos, talking about the abomination that I expect them to be. Like, is that real? Are they any good? I don't know. Probably not.
No.
Yeah,
as much as you don't like sugary things, you will...
Yeah. Hate it. The question is, can you make it into something good? No, that's not the question. The question is why. The question is why, I think. I think that's the question. So, maybe that's, if we get really run out of ideas and we're really not sure what to do, then maybe we'll go the Four Loko route. Well, that can be our code word for, I don't know. We're out of ideas. It's time. It's Four Loko time. Is I'm out of ideas. Yeah. Because I was thinking, it could be fun to do. I guess I was at. I don't remember if it was Whole Foods or Central Market. I'm pretty sure it was Central Market. But the sodas, the soda selection at Central Market is wild. It's like all either like fruit and berry flavored sodas or like knockoffs of other things, but like healthy versions, and like I don't know, there's a ton of stuff there. There's also a ton of like candies and things. I went to a Sprouts the other day actually, and I was stunned at how, because like I said earlier, I don't have a sweet tooth, but going into Sprouts and going into the bulk section and looking at the arrangement of outdated, old-fashioned like candy for old people that they have available in bulk at Sprouts, I was like, holy shit, I want some of this. Like, I want to try what all this weird shit is. Like, I don't know. Yeah, they had a bunch of weird stuff there that I was pretty interested in.
That's become a trend on like TikTok and stuff. People get like, they go to, you know what a Five Below is?
No.
I think I don't even know exactly. I'm pretty sure it's like a kid's clothing store, maybe kind of like a Burlington or TJ Maxx, I think. But people are coming out with snacks from there and candies that they're abominations, honestly. They're crazy, crazy things. But
I don't
yeah, I've
understand.
seen multiple pop up.
I don't understand what coming out with snacks from what?
Five Below, what I thought was like a kid's clothing store. They're like buying candy from this place. That's very unique candy. Like one of them was they were round, like foamy looking things, and they were like tongue tattoos, but it said it was candy. And this guy like put it on his tongue and peeled it off, and it was a tattoo. And he was like, "But this is candy. I'm supposed to eat this." And he like went to bite into it, and it like squished, but was hard to tear. I don't know. Weird stuff. Weird candies is the thing.
So I asked Google to tell me about Five Below. Pardon. High growth value retailer. But how was it? You talking about the tongue tattoo candy kicked off some kind of a very, very, very vague childhood memory? Like maybe that was the thing that I experienced as a kid. I don't think it tattooed my tongue, but the experience of it.
There was the fruit roll-ups. Those had tongue tattoos.
Tattoos?
Yeah. They were like, the long ones that were like, when you unroll them, they're like square. I remember those.
When you unroll the full fruit roll-up, you mean?
Fruit roll-up, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those being, but I don't remember tongue tattoos. I remember there being shapes.
I do. Maybe fruit by the foot, but I'm pretty sure it was.
No, it was
fruit roll-up.
Totally fruit roll-ups.
Yeah.
Weird. Gross. They had like Hello Kitty tongue tattoos.
Don't remember those.
Gross.
Speaking of that, I saw on TikTok today some serious nostalgia. It was I know you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It was the laser tag set that I had as a kid, the gray one with the orange light on top, and it made the just super annoying sounds. Now, I would hate if Lainey had them, but put the chess piece on and it had the orange circle you tap or red or whatever, and they worked. This guy like turned them on and all the sounds were just like I remember, and
yeah,
I was like, man, we used to play with those.
I do. I remember the noises.
Amount.
I don't remember the design of the gear. I remember the noises.
The gun went over your knuckle. I'm pretty sure the like speaker was up here, and it almost had like a little hole that was like a scope or something.
Maybe. Pretty terrible noises.
I took a screenshot so I could send it to you. I'll send you the screenshot.
Yeah.
You ready to try number 4?
I think we should. We're a little over an hour now.
Oh, yep.
It smells more like
mash, sour mash. Vomit in a trash can.
You make it sound like such a hellacious yet sexual experience. Sour mash.
Oh yeah. Oh, mash it. Puke in a trash can.
Right in the sours.
Oh, piano bars.
She got me right in the sours. That's. Number 6 in the world. Oh, it's got a really nice finish. Honestly, I like that better than the Crown. I mean, yeah, it's ow. That's weird. Yeah. I'm pretty, yeah, I think you're right. I think you nailed it, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Squirt my little squirter in there. Water. Like a douchebag.
what was the Star Wars band called?
That didn't help at
Jizz?
all. I'm sorry, what? I was
What was the
temporarily
Star Wars band called?
banned. Oh,
Jizz? Wasn't it Jizz?
it wasn't. Was it Jizz? No,
I think
that
it
was
was
the type of. I
Jizz.
think it was. Was it the band or was that the type of music that they played?
Type of music that they played was called Jizz.
Yeah. Yep.
But then people started calling Jizz Jizz.
Right.
So Disney made them change it, and they changed it to Juts.
I think it was. Yeah. I
Was
think
it
that's
Juts?
Juts or yeah. It was. Yeah. You know.
They're like,
I mean,
we'll
the
just
real.
start calling it Juts now.
I mean, the rub there is, pun intended. Even when it was called Jizz, like that's not going to catch on. Like you don't have to name that. It's not. You're not going to be. Hey, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to go to a jizz club? Like, no,
I'm a jizz
No.
musician.
no, you're not. You're a porn star.
I mean, can you imagine if they had said what that kind of music was in the original Star Wars movies? Like Luke Skywalker walks in
It's
and
like,
he's
oh,
like,
this is my favorite jizz band.
"Oh, I love jizz. I love jizz." Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, you know what? I mean, in some ways, I'm glad it didn't go that way, but in other ways, that'd have been fun.
been cool. Would have been cool.
We'd have instead of Star Wars, we'd have whatever the Chinese knockoff version of Star Wars is that came out a few years later. I can't think of what that's called. Space battles or yeah, Space Wars. I forget. There was some knockoff that happened. I don't know if it was Chinese. That was off the cuff, but
Yeah, Jack is my least favorite. Just to wrap that up for me, I think if you put it in a Coke, I'd probably feel right at home. But it's my least
But ill.
favorite to taste standing on its own.
right at home but ill, is what I would guess. Yeah, so that's a good call. I think we nailed it actually. I mean, primarily you. I mean, the Johnny Walker was easy. The Jameson,
Yeah.
I was a little uncertain of, but then after tasting number 3, I think that's dead on. I think it's Jack. Or sorry, shit, fuck. Johnny Walker, then Jameson, then Crown, then Jack. So now, I mean, is the rating in flavors for you the same? Like, would you put the Johnny at the top of that as well, and the Jack at the bottom, or is there any mix-ups there?
Actually how I was about to go back through it and taste again, because Johnny has so much more smell to it now that
Yeah.
you come back to the start.
Yeah. You know what I didn't do that I thought about doing and I didn't do is I thought about bringing stuff to make each of these into an old fashioned, just like a standard old fashioned.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be fun.
I'm gonna look, by the way.
I'm gonna look. Yeah, let's do it.
I feel like we have it, but nailed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely nailed it.
Easy.
Easy. Now we have to try every whiskey from India.
You know what? Yes, absolutely. I would love to do that. You know, I got a weird as I was lifting this to my nose. This is the Jack Daniels. You want to know the first thing that came to mind?
What?
Celery.
I feel like I kind of started to smell it as you started to say the word, and then it left me. I mean, it's definitely different, and like the finish you were talking about, I actually enjoyed that too. I think it's just being triggered from.
Yeah. But there, I
all
mean,
the
there's
times I
still
drank too much
there's
of it.
something like in some ways, the Jack is the most familiar to me because it has a lot in common with bourbons that I'm used to. But there's something in the first 3 or 4 like milliseconds or something. Like there's something in the very, very upfront part of the taste for me that's really, it's like it's a harsh flavor. It's almost like it's almost a weird chemical note that I can't quite put a finger on. Like I was gonna say it's almost like acrid, like a burnt something, but I don't know. It's not a nice burnt. It's like it's a bad burnt. Jack is, Jack is got a little bit of a bad burnt in it that I can't quite put a finger on. But
I wonder if it's the sour mash. Like.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, just the fact that something is like. I mean, Kelly's gotten into the sourdough starter stuff. So, she's got her thing that she feeds and lets grow, and she's working on a name for it because it's alive, and she pulls from it and then adds some stuff to it, and it grows back up and doubles or whatever in size, and she pulls. And there's a part of me that's like, if that continues to sit for too long or got too much air or too much of something, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's pretty weird stuff.
But I hate to say it, but I think I will have to go Jack in like last place for me, just purely based on its flavor standing on its own.
Right.
Like again, I think if it was mixed with something, I would probably like it more.
Yeah, that's fair. I would be really curious to see how that mixes into an old fashioned. Maybe I'll try that on my own and report back.
Yeah, it's triggering.
Yeah. It's going to be something for us to figure out for sure here is like I have a strong interest in finding cocktails that each of these 4 alcohols do well with. Is it an old fashioned?
Yeah.
Is it a Manhattan? Maybe it's something else. Could be a lot of different stuff. I'd be surprised if, because I will say, I did play around. I did recently pick up, when I bought these, I bought a really small bottle of Tullamore Dew, and I made a really, really surprising old-fashioned type of cocktail with the Tullamore Dew. It's a very gentle flavor compared to what I'm used to in an old-fashioned. So, So that was that was a shock to me, but I like it on its own quite a bit. Well, wow, what happened to my brain just now? I like it on its own as well, quite a bit.
It's the sour mash.
I think it might be the sour mash. I think you're right.
It's 100% the sour mash.
I'm gonna, you know what? I think the order for me. So you said as is, like, or did you say? Maybe I misheard.
I think I have to go Jack in last, Crown in third, and I'm kind of deciding right now between Johnny and I actually really like the Jameson.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'd be really good in an old fashioned, but I don't know. I feel the weird thing is while I wouldn't mind experimenting with the Jameson, I kind of feel like Johnny needs to be enjoyed this way. What I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm rating it on a scale where they're all judged by how they are in this form, just straight and neat.
Yeah. I think that's if
Johnny
we're going to rank
first,
these things, I think we should rank them based on this format, this experience, like just neat. In my case, with a little bit of water. I didn't put any water in the Crown. I mean, frankly, for me, I for sure put the Jameson at the top, just by a bit, over the Johnny Walker in this format. I think you're right. I think the Jameson could do well in a cocktail. So for me, it's Jameson, Black Label, or Black Barrel rather, and then Johnny Walker Black, and then the Jack, and then the Crown. The Crown for me was my least favorite. Even that was close.
It is. I mean,
like the difference between 1 and 2 for me and 3 and 4 is big. Like,
oh yeah,
I preferred both the Johnny and the Jameson over the Crown.
I don't even necessarily want to go back and finish the Crown and Jack, and I will, but these two,
you ain't gotta.
They're basically already gone already, and
yeah,
they're good. I mean, I am enjoying both of them.
You know what? Put them in the same glass, suck them down. Maybe don't suck them down.
Those two,
but no. Also, that's going to be a weird flavor. I don't know. Might be okay.
And yeah, every time I taste the Jameson, I'm kind of back and forth. Have you seen they have a Jameson orange?
I have. I watched a little bit about it, kind of accidentally, like content on YouTube about it. People weren't too keen on it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is essentially a flavored whiskey, which I'm not wild about in concept.
I mean, if it tastes fake at all, I mean, chemically changed flavor, then yeah, I could see it being pretty terrible. But I was also like, man, I mean, if you're going to do an old fashioned with it and it's already got an orangey, citrusy flavor profile, it could be
but that's
all right.
So I think that was the main complaint, is that it was orangey and citrusy, but in a very sugary and kind of, I don't remember if the word chemical or like chemically was used in particular. But I got the impression that people didn't like it because it was kind of a forced attempt at something.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, from a cocktail making perspective, I don't want shortcuts like that. I want to be able to control whatever element I can control, and a base spirit needs to stay pretty untainted for me to really have any interest in it. I mean, I don't fuck around with mixers and that kind of stuff typically either, because it's like, if I know that to make a specific kind of drink, I need this amount of base spirit and this amount of like modifier and this amount of sugar, and I'm trying to use a mixer that already is the modifier and the sugar, I have no idea what those ratios are like. And so trying to come up with something like it grays the kind of the surface area of flavor that I'm aiming for, to an extent that I find it kind of unusable. I mean, I don't know. That said, there's some things that I've come across kind of randomly and accidentally to some extent that I thought were really, really interesting. I mean, it's more fun for those kinds of things. It's more fun for me to like take a thing like that and try and come up with something essentially from scratch. I mean, there's always going to be things that you can kind of like pull from as ideas and inspiration, but like it would be more fun for me, rather than taking something like Jameson Orange and trying to make a good old fashioned with it. It would be more fun for me to take that spirit as my base spirit and try and figure out like, how do I make a good cocktail with this base spirit, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That means that I'm not trying to adhere to some formula. Instead, I'm trying to kind of like play with what's there and experiment and kind of back into something that's good. Would be fun too. Anyhow, we've been going for almost an hour and a half here. I mean, should we start thinking about wrapping up? You want to drink and are there any other topics you felt compelled to dive into? I'm gonna go back to this black barrel. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to having a bit of a smoke on a thing with this black barrel.
That's what. Wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I knocked out my Johnny and my Black Barrel first for sure. And I kept getting really twisted up just every time I went one to the other. It was like, man, that Jameson is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, and like we both said, like I think in this form, drinking them this way, Johnny takes it by a little. But I'm excited that Jameson was the biggest bottle because it's something I kind of want to toy with too.
I will say, as far as like consideration for future kind of experimentation and tastings, um, one of the ideas that I'm really drawn to as far as tasting whiskeys is, and I'm curious about this for the Black Barrel. Like, if I was going to look it up here and see, I assume it's a blend, but I'm not sure. Like, I think some of the best expressions that you're going to find out there are like straight bourbons, single barrels, single distillations, like things that are not blends. Blends can be really good, but I think as far as tasting and learning about tasting, I think we're going to be far better off going with these sort of like more pure, maybe is the right word. I don't know, that word for some reason feels wrong,
No,
but
that makes
like
sense.
they're less sort of messed with. They're not sort of engineered in this way that well, they are actually, but in a different part of the process. Because the other big concept that I'd be really interested in digging into more is a lot of like the big whiskey and bourbon flavor oriented guys. I say guys as a general term, people. They talk a lot about
Those
like
guys.
cask strength. They talk a lot about high proof, like barrel proof. Like the stronger the proof on a bottle of whiskey, for me at least, for a long time, the association that came with that was it's going to taste like fire. But that also came from, like you were talking about earlier, kind of a period of my life where the best way to drink alcohol was in whatever format I can drink that alcohol where I don't taste the alcohol. But those, there's some really nice bourbons out there that people love and like have maybe not cult followings, but have really strong followings that are really high proof, because those higher proof expressions tend to, for whatever reason, allegedly carry a lot more flavor and sort of character to your experience. So I'd be curious about that.
Yeah.
Like what
Well,
for.
and I mean, I think there's a lot of people in the world too that, I mean, kind of like I talked about my progression through a couple of these, early 20s, you're like, whatever's cheap,
Right.
Like I'll take
Right.
whatever I can get, I mean, the first bottles of liquor I
Your
bought
priorities
were
are
not
different.
nice things at all,
Right.
I mean, and then it was just like, when you wanted to spoil yourself, you got a Jack,
Wow.
You got a Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
And then that slowly turned into, now Crown, if I could afford a bottle of Crown for the weekend, that'd be, doing well. And then that kind of slowly turned into, wow, those aren't even that good.
No.
I mean, they're just, again, I mean, it's kind of like tasting things with your eyes. You see it, it's good, it's
Right.
more expensive than what you have. It's the well-known name and the well-known brand. So you get it and you tell yourself it's great, but it's not that great.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a distinction to be made between things that are good versus things that have more nuance. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like, I don't know, not to give too much away for like upcoming content, but like, I've been doing a lot of research into Big Trouble in Little China recently.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I fucking love that movie. It's a fantastic movie.
Yep.
But it's not like it's not a high art film. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference, and but that's not my. That's when I'm thinking about high quality, high craft, and high art films. I don't know though. I don't know. There's also something to be said for. I don't know. What's the word? What's the phrase I want? Like bang for the buck, essentially. You know, like it's
yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
such it's a good. It approaches being a good film, even though it's sort of subjectively like bad in some ways too. So, and maybe a lot of it's what I'm trying to get to here is that like I think with a lot of this stuff like there's a strong level of subjectivity involved because there will always be that strong level of subjectivity with things that you're tasting. Yeah. Anyhow. It's been good drinking with you. It's been good, good talking to you. I look forward to doing some more of these.
Yep.
I don't know.
We'll have more, I'm sure. Got plenty to work with over here. As small as this bottle of Jack is, we can toy with this because this will not be going anywhere anytime soon.
You know, I mean, There've got to be ways to donate alcohol. I mean, hell, you can just drive around till you find somebody who really wants some alcohol.
I mean, that's a good idea.
I mean,
if you want to do something with Fireball, we have a bottle of it in the freezer that's been there for years.
This bottle of Crown. I mean, I'm pretty sure Steve likes Crown, but he's not really much of a drinking man these days. Yeah, I don't know. I'm staying away from Fireball as soon as I found out. And also, there's way better forms of that. That's the other thing, too. It's like, as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more into cocktails and I've gotten into better... there's that word again. It's a judgmental word, better. But, anyways, I'm going to quit rambling. And,
well, at one point, Steve was a Goldschlager man.
Yes, he was. Which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It makes your dookie twinkle.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
that's a Chappelle Show quote.
Yeah, I recall that vaguely, but I also saw the logic in it. I immediately felt like, no, that seems right. I think that probably is true. If you drink enough Goldschlager.
Is that why Steve drank it? Probably not. But maybe. I never had enough to see a twinkle, but I've realized every opinion I have on anything in this video is probably not good just for the fact that I'm wearing a shirt about farts.
I was going to say, I mean, if that's not where you were already headed, I was going to say the fact that you're wearing a shirt that says stealing hearts and blasting farts.
I did nail the taste test, though. So.
You did really well, actually. I mean, you know,
I think it offsets.
When I was up there a couple weeks ago, you talked about, you know, not having a very good palate, very good, you know, very well refined sense of taste and all these things. And I was like, no. There's ways to spoil you yet. I think you're most of the way there already, actually. I think your palate is pretty good. Here's the thing.
Well,
you know how to, you know, I mean, you like good food. And you know how to go about, you know, finding good food and discerning good flavor from less good flavor and even bad flavor and all that. And so that's all this is. You know, it's just
I mean,
shit hits your tongue and you go, oh well, yeah, or you say, nah, never mind.
I feel like it helped to know. I mean, I kind of wish we would have found a normal bottle of Jameson, not a black label, because knowing the charred barrel fact about it really changed things. And I mean, these two I do have a lot of experience with.
Yeah.
So,
I think that is the one. I was surprised also, like even at my local, it's Total Wine. They're massive. I was surprised. The smallest bottle of normal Jameson that they had was bigger than this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess people don't buy Jameson in small bottles. So they're just like, well, not going to make those.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I was pretty surprised by that. I would be interested to taste normal Jameson as well, even side by side with this one. I mean, I'm sure they taste quite a bit different, but yeah, what does the regular one taste like? Yeah, but I don't know. There's stuff we could do there too. I mean, Irish whiskeys is a whole thing that I think is really interesting because I think the flavor profiles in Irish whiskeys typically is very different from what I'm used to with American or just bourbons. Even American whiskeys that aren't bourbons. I mean, Jack Daniels is one example here, but there's a ton of others. Yeah, we'll drink some good stuff, have some good chats, to us at least.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all that matters.
Should we outro? Do you want to outro or do you want me to outro?
Wouldn't know where to start.
That's I'm not far off. I think
Latest on the Minjay.
I should have done some measurements to see how much of these I actually. I mean, I probably still only had like 4 ounces of booze throughout the night, but that's relatively significant. Anyways,
How many cigarettes are you gonna have?
probably just one.
Yeah.
Time is it here? I have all these clocks around and I can't read one of them. It's coming up on 11 here, so probably just the one.
Probably a good call.
All right.
I guess outro us.
Okay. Well, it's been good talking to you. This has been the I Guess I'm Doing This Now, I Guess We're Doing This Now podcast. Like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments if there's dumb shit you want us to taste, dumb shit you want us to do. We like dumb shit, right? I like dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like fun stuff.
Wearing this freaking shirt.
Yeah. Not the look of a serious gentleman right there.
No.
Gentleman,
Not at all.
just not a serious gentleman.
Talk to you later.
Bye.